Starstruck, an Adrienette alternate universe Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. Chapter 3. Pulling her hair into a frantic ponytail, Marinette nearly trips out the lift doors. She'll soon be late for work, and definitely can't afford to do so. Still, she heads over to the front desk. Just that morning, she'd received a note telling her to check the front desk for a new key. She could only guess what that would be for. "Here you go, ma'am." "Thank you." Apparently, the building was building a new security system for her floor. Marinette pockets the keys and heads out. Adrian most likely asked them, perhaps even offering to pay for the new renovations for their floor. It made sense. Of course, it was out of protection. Her safety and his. She only hopes that the renovations finish quickly. Luckily, they usually do in this city. Sometimes it feels like the city is just pure magic. Things get done by magical little fairies or ladybugs or whatever, finishing all construction work in no time. Marinette smiles fondly before rushing into work. Now, in the past, Marinette has never really been a spacey person. She's diligent, focused, and headstrong. When she's at work, she works. When she was in school, she studied and made the grade. In short, Marinette had never been that one person checking their phone endlessly or watching out the windows. However, today, these past few days have been very strange. And her work habits have also changed accordingly. Marinette squeezes her eyes closed, turning her phone to be screened face down on the table. "Focus, Marinette," she mutters to herself. She stares down at the paperwork. She's only halfway down with this kitchen, and it's nearly lunch. Not only does she need to finish it, but she also needs to meet with this client, find furnishing in the correct colors, and appliances to fit into the right spots. "Hey, are you doing okay?" one of her co-workers says. Marinette nods at them and smiles. "Yeah, just tired," she admits. They laugh. "Well, I get that. Hopefully you get some good sleep tonight." "Maybe if I can get these down in time, or else I think our boss is just going to death stare at me for a week," Marinette jokes. "Oh, come on. We all know she'll never do that to you. You're literally the best of us all. If anyone's getting the death stare, it's gonna be me," they say with mock competitiveness. Marinette chuckles. "Oh, we'll see," she teases back. She continues working. The pace is slower than her usual speed, but at the very least, she's getting stuff down. Thank goodness this client isn't overly picky or unusual. It's going to be a complete breeze to find the tabletop stove. It's nearly her lunch break, and Marinette is determined to finish. She rubs her eyes, staring at the screen with staring at screens was vastly different from her usual staring and sketching on paper. It hurts her eyes a lot more than the former. It hurts her eyes a lot more than the latter. Despite the tired eyes, she finishes the kitchen and makes a silent note to herself to buy blue light glasses. Finally, she can take a break and pushes out of her chair, stretching out her back. It takes a few minutes, but she realizes that most everyone around her is also taking their breaks, but have refrained from leaving completely. Marinette is curious. She looks around. What's going on? What is everyone so focused on? Her eyes fly over everyone until it reaches the TV. Panic rises in her chest. Figure out who this pretty little mystery girl is. How unfortunate that we can't just storm in for an interview. Jokes, but wouldn't we all love to get to know the love of Adrienne's life? She's just got the cutest style. Look at this little ladybug embossing in her bag. It's probably her staple. All great news for the ladybug lovers out there. More news has come out about her. She and Adriennegress are not living together. Thank you to my inside source for that. It seems that this picture has only caught them in a passionate hug. Maybe they haven't seen each other in a while. I'd certainly pull Adriennegress in if he showed up at my house. I mean, just look at that pretty face. You can't say no now, could you? Only a monster could. We can only guess how long they've been sweetly together. A year. Maybe more. Too bad Meet the Parents night is going to be rough for this poor girl. She must worry about it a lot. I certainly don't blame her. Her future father-in-law is Mr. Gabriel Legrest. The terror of that man. Marinette grows a newfound hatred for Lila Rossi. Who on earth feels the need to tell so many lies in 5 minutes? In no way does that picture actually insinuate a relationship. Lila's just spinning lie after lie after lie, and it's quickly going to ruin her life. Shame that poor girl. Who wants their private life invaded like that? One of Marinette's co-workers says, shaking her head with a sigh. Marinette feels an odd sense of dramatic irony. Yeah, she chokes out. Sounds awful. Her co-worker looks right at her with a curious look. Marinette panics. I do hope she's nice. What a wedding it'll be, they say instead. Marinette shrugs, trying to make it seem a bit more offhanded than she probably actually looked. Maybe they're not even dating. It's not like they're kissing in the picture. The idea of kissing, Adrienne flashes in her head, and Marinette fights to not melt to the floor. I guess you're right. Just for old time's sake, Marinette goes to the small brunch place across the street. Normally, she tries to eat something healthier than pillows of buttery waffles, sweet coffee, and whipped cream pastries. However, today is an exception. She allows herself to indulge, smiling to herself when she hears her name being called. For a split second, Marinette worries it's a nosy reporter or media star. When she turns, she just sees a familiar face and smiles. Julika! Marinette greets her. Hi! She stands up to hug her old friend. How are you? I'm good, Julika responds. What about you? She asks. Marinette bites her lip. There is a plethora of things she could say in response. I'm okay, just dealing with the fact that everyone thinks that I'm Adrienne's secret lover. Or maybe I found out my neighbor is a famous celebrity who borderline ran from his family. She would also say, I'm gonna cry because every single time I look at a TV, I see freaking Lila Rossi reporting on a picture of me and spreading lies that I'm the reason an Agress family scandal is happening and just trying to coax people into telling her who I am. Instead, Marinette just says, oh, I've been well. Just lots of work. Oh, and I recently moved into a new house. Next to a famous person at that. That's wonderful to hear. Julika smiles. Marinette motions for her to take the seat in front of her. She does. They catch up, talking about each other's lives. It's been a while since they last talked, really. Back in high school, they bonded over their loves in the fashion industry. Marinette had always loved creatively designing, and Juleka wanted to be a model. Though neither of them ended up pursuing their childhood dreams, they'd worked together a lot during their schooling days to at least get a taste of it. Marinette ran an online shop when she was young, and Juleka was her model for all the pieces. Nowadays, Juleka was a high school textiles teacher and faring very well for herself. It's good. Marinette knows that Juleka is a wonderful teacher, even if she's a bit soft-spoken. Back in school, she had been quieter but shone through rock music in her own personal style. No, I totally agree with you. Lila isn't as entertaining as she is awfully rude. It's hidden in her tone, but you can hear it if you really think about it. Juleka shakes her head. If she was one of my students, she'd be making those drama accounts for our school. Gossips, they never grow out of it. Marinette sighs and nods. She's still a high school girl, and those are the worst. She's nearly her age, and still not as mature. You can be a news outlet without prying into people's lives. Especially random people like that girl from the picture, Marinette says. And, well, she was that girl in the picture, but her point still stood. No one needed Adrienne's life information, yet people all around the world believed that they were entitled to it. What on earth were they going to do with her if her name and face got out? Was she hounded for answers about her life that they didn't even deserve to know? Juleka looks at her with suspicious eyes, and it's then that Marinette remembers that only two people really knew her brand on clothing was a small little ladybug, which was a fact that was reported on by Lila, of all people. I saw the dress, Juleka said softly. Marinette face palms into the table, making her loving friend giggle. I'm sorry all that happened, but I do have a lot of questions, she admits. Marinette raises her blushing face and laughs. I'll give you the inside scoop, but not Lila Rossi, she says with distaste. Juleka nods. Basically, I moved into my new house, and I decided that I wanted to be nice and friendly to my neighbor, so I knocked on his door and talked to him a bit. I thought he was, weird. Actually, he kind of is, but really sweet. Really, really sweet. Anyways, we didn't talk much for a while. Like, we're friendly and all that, but nothing more than a wave, and he was always, like, hidden under sunglasses and coats, and it was very weird, and I didn't think much of it. I thought he was one of, those kids from our old school that were just nice but strange. Anyways, yesterday, I was getting home from a coffee date with Alia when I opened my door and I saw him running down the hall. Of course, I stopped in my tracks to see if he's okay and to, ask him what on earth he was doing, because he was running through the hall without his usual scarf, because, yeah, he normally wore a scarf. And he just looked so scared. But then, before I could say something, I noticed that there was some camera people behind him, and before I knew it, he was barreling at me. And I guess that's when they took the picture, but now I'm in this, mess, and everyone thinks I'm his secret girlfriend, or whatever, but really, I'm just a poor neighbor girl who bought the wrong house, she jokes. Juleka breaks out in laughter. Truly, it's funny. It's a funny and unbelievable story. How? I mean, it's you, and you've always had a knack for getting into trouble, but oh wow, you've outdone yourself this time, Juleka laughs. Marinette smiles brightly. Oh, certainly, she agrees. Goodness, Lila can really spin it, Juleka gapes. But I do hope that you know that even if things get out of hand, you can depend on me. I'm honored that you trust me with all this, because if I was in your place, I'd barricade myself and never speak to a single soul again till it all goes away, Juleka says kindly. But it's really funny. Marinette laughs and sighs. Yes, I know you're not going to screech to the press, and I really appreciate it, and it is very funny. I'm just, Marinette trails off. I'm just a bit worried about what's going to happen. What if everyone finds out it's me? Am I even going to be safe in my own home? My workplace? My parents? Oh my goodness, my parents. They have a bakery that everyone knows about. Are there going to be articles bashing me? Is this going to cost me my job? I'm not a famous actress or singer. This isn't what I'm used to. Marinette cries out. She pulls at her hair, unable to stop rambling. Juleka only nods until she's close to shrieking. Juleka uses her hands to stop Marinette from waving her arms around. Marinette, she says soothingly, you're spiraling. I should know. You did it a lot back in school, she says with a laugh. Marinette gives her a small smile. Adrian's nice, right? He's not gonna just throw you to the wolves, and into the press, into Lila, or anything. If you do become public knowledge, we'll get it figured out. Juleka condoles her. A lot of normal people marry celebrities, and they're okay. For you, we'll just explain what actually happened, okay? Marinette takes in a breath. Thank you. Of course, Juleka says. She is a very kind soul. They continue to chat a bit longer, but soon it's time for Marinette to head back to work. See you soon, I hope, Marinette cowls as she gathers her belongings. On TV, I'm sure, Juleka teases her. Marinette rolls her eyes playfully, but is happy to know that Juleka's there for her in the mess that is now her life. When Marinette gets back to work, she manages to ignore the gossips in the office and the blaring TV. They're still reporting on her and Adrian in the picture, of course. Adrian and Lila, and in turn so her, is all over every station. But Marinette finds herself laughing at the ridiculous theories being thrown out so quickly. They're all so wrong. Not in the slightest. They're so far off. Not even slightly close to the truth.